Welcome to the Lighthouse Financial Advisers Money Over 50 podcast with Dallas Davison and Michael Hogue. This information is general in nature and does not take into account your objectives, financial situation or needs. Therefore, you should consider whether the information is appropriate for you and your personal circumstances. If you require personal advice, please contact Lighthouse Financial Advisers. Here are your hosts, Dallas Davison and Michael Hogue.
Welcome to Money Over 50 with Dallas and Michael. No boundaries.
We spent a bit of time thinking about the title of this, and now as you know, when it's only when someone says it, you go, it just sounds weird. It sounds like we've got no boundaries of what we'll talk about or where we'll go. We're going, this isn't going to be one of those weird podcasts where we talk about our darkest and most innermost secrets and all that.
I hope not. I'll put everyone's mind at ease right now. What we're referring to here is, as financial advisors, we have no geographical boundaries around Australia.
Yeah.
We currently do have clients all around Australia.
Yeah.
And certainly there's been some contact from people through the podcast.
Yeah.
Just recently, that from different parts of Australia, and we've found that it's been no problem. It's been quite easy for us to conduct a meeting with them.
Yeah, and that's what I guess the point here is. It's something that came off the back really of probably we've always had new clients. We've had a lot of clients who became a client while they lived here in Townsville and then have moved away, and we've continued to be able to work with those people. And then we've also had new clients that have only sort of met with us remotely, or that we've spoken to over the phone or via Zoom, that sort of thing. But it hasn't been a big focus of ours. But we've realised throughout all of our end of financial year meetings were via Zoom and via phone call, and we realised that there's almost a limiting thing that we've put on ourselves sort of up to this point, where you go, we are financial advisors based in Townsville, which is, and I think there's probably a lot of people around the world who are having a similar realisation that where you are geographically located has no real impact on who you are able to service as clients and who you best work with. So it's sort of, as you said, I just recently had a meeting with a long-time listener of the podcast, G'day Rita, and worked really well just via Zoom. And so that was sort of something that we just want to talk about, is that it's definitely not a situation where obviously we're based here in Townsville, we're both Townsville locals, but we have the capacity and are interested in meeting with people from all over Australia. Yeah,
and Kim also contacted us from the New South Wales Northern Coast. She's a long-time listener as well, and we have I have a meeting with her and her husband booked in over the next couple of weeks. So certainly, and I think for me, the best thing to come out of coronavirus, I'm always looking for the glass to be half full.
Yeah.
The best thing that has happened is that it's been a worldwide test for dealing with people remotely.
Yes.
And you just couldn't have had that test be forced on people.
No,
for anything else but what we've been through with coronavirus. So, because it's got to be two-way, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if one person's really good at Zoom or Microsoft Teams if the other person doesn't know how to use that.
Yeah.
So now everyone
knows.
seemingly knows how to use Zoom and they're comfortable to an extent using Zoom.
Yeah.
So certainly we would encourage people, if you're a listener, and we know that we have listeners all over Australia, when it's the right time for you to seek financial advice, certainly contact us. You can give us a call or contact us through the podcast email, which is podcast@mo50.com.au, and make contact that way, and we'd certainly be happy to set up a Zoom meeting to actually go over your situation and to have a look at what you could actually do to enhance your retirement.
So I just realised that the title of this podcast we've said is No Boundaries. That's not quite true, because you actually had a client, you had a referral from an existing client for someone the other day that you had to knock back because they were that were located in America.
They're Californian residents, and say
no link to
Andy and Greta. Long. G'day, Andy and Greta, because I know they're listening. They're long time clients of ours, and they were professional sailors.
Yeah.
So they've now retired, and they're amateur sailors. So they're sailing up to Lizard Island right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Far northern Queensland. So these are sailing buddies of theirs.
Yeah.
Located in America now. We just can't. I mean, they've got American investments, American superannuation, and all those sorts of things. So we just weren't able to help them.
Yeah.
But they have another couple that have become clients of ours who are still professional sailors. So they were they're Australians. Yeah. But they're now non-residents for taxation purposes in Australia. They're sailing.
Yeah. Have you met those guys face to face?
We have, but not. They'd been clients for years before we met them face to face. So certainly
some
it didn't.
Boundaries, but very very few.
Look, the title "No Boundaries" wouldn't have sounded as good if I had no boundaries in brackets, except
outside of Australia.
If you're in Poland or Iceland,
so no boundaries within Australia, basically.
So so this of course will be a short podcast, and certainly we feel uncomfortable in promoting ourselves, but
I think it's just essentially we want to talk about for people who are listening to the podcast and that are going, this is all very interesting and great, and I want to do this, but now if you're worried that if you're based in Sydney or Melbourne, or I've got a lot of clients actually in sort of remote Queensland. If you're then thinking, oh well, this is a nightmare because I know what these guys talk about, and I've learnt a bit from that, but now I've got to go and find a financial advisor that is based near me, and I've got to go and try and find someone who's not going to be a shyster, and that I'm going to have a good
It's funny because my wife said the same thing. I was talking about this with Susie the other night, and I said we've had a few people just recently contact us from from other areas, one in Sydney, one in northern New South Wales, and she said, "Oh, that's so surprising. Like, wouldn't they just want to find a face-to-face person locally?" And I said, "Yeah, but you've got the worry then of actually having to go and going.
Am I going to have a good relationship?
Am I going to have a good relationship? Am I going to walk into the wrong office?" I said, I guess we're up to podcasts in our 70s now, so I assume that some of the people listening now have listened to all of those podcasts or a lot of those podcasts. So they probably feel that they know us. This is my conversation with Susie. I'm saying they probably feel that they know us quite well, even though they've never met us face to face.
And to some degree they do, because it's very hard to record however many hours of back and forth chat between you and I without getting a bit of a picture of what we're actually like behind the scenes. So I think it is definitely. So did you have anything else to add?
No, so just when the time is right and you need advice on anything, whether it be one specific thing or whether you say this is all too hard, we need to come up with some plan
and that's
to get to where we need to be to retire. Certainly contact us. The easiest way to do that would be through the email address podcast@mo50.com.au. So we've just set that up. And touch base with us there. Then we'll get in contact with you and set up a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, and that's I guess the point that I wrap up with myself is that we've talked about this before in other podcasts at length, where there is no sales pitch from us in terms of if you wanted to have a chat, we'd be only too happy to have that sort of first meeting, and if there's, and this is sort of what I was speaking about with Rita the other night, is that for us that first meeting is really two-way communication. Of you get more of an understanding of who we are and what our role is, and it's for us to get an understanding of your situation and your position, and whether there is scope there for us to work with you on an ongoing basis and help you with that. And if not, if there's just a few things that we can sort of point you in the right direction and you can go and handle that yourself, that's also a good result for us. We're happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's good. We are really passionate about helping people get to where they need to be to retire. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Money Over 50 podcast with Lighthouse Financial Advisers. We look forward to catching up again soon.